Happy Sunday morning, peeps. Um, Always gotta love when you get woken up. I didn't really get woken up. My body woke me up and was like, hey, it's probably time for you to wake up. Anyways, what I was gonna say is it's always nice to be woken up when you see a summons paper on your dresser. And I really don't want to get into it too much personally because it's not something that's should be known. But it is very worrisome. Like, I worry about it. I worry about how, I worry about if we're gonna lose certain things. I worry about if we're going to struggle super hard. It's a lot of thoughts that process that go through your head during all of this kind of thing. So I was a little anxious this morning. But I did something super awesome and super amazing. I texted a friend who basically deals with the same things on her end, and I sent her what the kids like to call a chunky text and what my generation like to call like a storyline. And then she sent me a text back saying that she'll text me later explaining more and blah 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 because she's that kind of good friend. I really love her. Anyways, especially when it comes to certain things. Now, with her advice, sometimes I get a little, because we all do with our friends. Sometimes the advice that come out of our friend's mouth, we're like, no, you're supposed to agree with me. So I'm not too worried about it. Anyways, so there was that. And then you'll get a kick out of this. It got even better. One of our drivers decided to do its first no-call, no-show after a situation that happened yesterday. And it had nothing even to do with the customer, but I'll tell you about that too. So this one might be a really long video, and I really kind of don't care because sometimes you need a really long video in your life. Anyways, so in the company that I work for, which is Pizza Hut, which most of everybody knows, drivers get a different salary than people who are management, production, team members, all that stuff, right? Only because drivers get tips, right? So here's the thing. We hired this driver due to one of our coworkers that was like, oh, hey, he needs a job. We need a morning driver. He wants to be a morning driver. Sure, why not? And look, we've all been down that road where we hire our friends or people that we know and they turn out to be not the greatest employee. So this person got mad and upset over the fact that sometimes in our mornings we do not have a lot of deliveries. Sometimes they're just all carryouts. And yesterday I had about 20 carryout orders, okay? And in the process, there were some times where he was pulling a little more weight than me, and I ended up doing a little more of like the extra behind the scenes kind of things. But anyways, we were just sitting around talking, hanging out as we usually do, and we got into talking about tips because, we get cash tips, which help in the process of things. And I straight up told him, I go, well, because technically you're signed in as a driver, I do not have to give you any of the insider tips. Even though you've made the pizzas, you've cut the pizzas, and you've cashed people out, I don't have to share the tips. But if I am nice enough and you are nice enough to me, and we can work together as a team, I'll gladly share my tips with you. So he had, and I know this is going to sound super lame, but there was $2 in our tip jar that could have evenly just be split between $1, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. He had basically taken both of those $2 completely out of the tip because I went to go take it at the end of my shift and it was gone. And so he had pocketed it. Yes, I would get upset over $2. And I know that sounds so corny, but every little bit helps. Anyways, here's the other kicker. My cat is super unhappy with me right now because she is laying here. Let's pull this camera here. So this animal likes to lay just like this all the time. And she gets mad when I sit here and I move and I'm chit-chatting and I'm like, this isn't your secret hotel where you get to just chill in here like this. Anyways, so Tony is another one of our coworkers. He's our team member. He's our greeter, like our Walmart greeter, and he's actually amazing. Anyways, so he said to me, he goes, Kendra tips. And I, this person who is basically no longer with us today, is basically, he stormed out of the, can you stop? Oh, she's driving me crazy already. It's just that kind of morning with you. Anyways, he went outside, out back, to go just take like a breather, just to breathe in the fresh air and this and that and everything else. So I split the tips. As a nice person, okay? I could have taken it all and just been like, you did most of the work and I'm just gonna be one of those people that's like, you get nothing. But I was nice enough to split the tips. And like we both got about like $8 or something, right? Which isn't bad for that because some people tip and some people don't, But anyways, so I went outside to breathe in fresh air myself. And I told him, I split the tips and I set it on the counter for him, this and that and everything else, right? He then storms out from the backyard, or from the back of the store, walks through the front of the store to go talk to our manager, which happens to be my boyfriend, and basically starts screaming at him saying, well, this isn't fair and that's not fair and this and that and everything else. So he ends up coming back in, and Anthony had basically straight up told this person, like, if you're unhappy with it, go home. If you don't like the policies and the rules and the regulations, go home. I can find somebody else. So he came back in and an order had popped up on the screen and I was going to go make it, but he went straight for the make table. So I was just like, whatever. So then he goes and does some more dishes and I'm just chilling, waiting for things to come and to go home, And he says some more things to Anthony like, oh, well, it's just not fair, this and that and everything else. And Anthony goes again, I don't make the rules and regulations. I just do what I need to do. And if you really have this much of a problem with it, you can contact the uppers. The uppers will tell you the same thing. There's nothing that we can do. And this is how it goes. So, I mean, we had an okay night last night. There were some anxieties and some things and stuff like that that were a little, that kind of got me worked up, aka school, because my daughter's gonna be a 6th grader, and I didn't get her Chromebook because I don't know how this whole Chromebook thing works, because in the last 2 years she just got it on the first day of school, and then now she can actually pick it up, and I'm like, okay. So I've been like emailing her caseworker this whole time, and some emails here and there as always, so, and then of course we got her like some very large, and I'm talking about my daughter, some very large shorts that tie, but she doesn't really know how to tie. So it's like crash course and everything, and yeah, so yeah, there's some stressors, and then of course, I have a daughter, and I've now starting to realize that mothers and daughters have a very complex relationship. And there are times when my daughter and I are like the bestest of friends. And then there are times when my daughter and I are like enemies. Okay. This cat that we have here, her name is Adele, and she's like a second daughter to me, and she's 5. So sometimes we get a little bit jealous of the animal, which is 100% normal when it comes to a child who's been the center of attention her entire life. And literally for 9 years, it was her. We never had a pet. We had a hamster that we grown fond to, but he did not make it, sadly. Um, so it's hard. So there's like those stressors like that at night, but like typical stressors that people go through. But this this stressor at work is just ridiculous, you know, like this guy literally is just, you know, I don't understand. I don't get it. Why people have to feel that they have a voice when it comes to things, and you do. You have a voice 100% when it comes to things. I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't. But heck, you said you didn't want to be anything else besides a driver. Now you're bitching saying that you want to be production because you aren't getting any deliveries, and you know, so yeah. And now you basically screwed us over today due to the sole fact that you are basically being petty. It's frustrating. So, um, I wanted to do a video last night, but I was like, oh, let's read a book instead. So I'm almost done with my crime novel, and then I started the King of Wrath series. It's like the new 50 Shades of Grey of this generation, 100%. It's gonna get crazy. Except with this one, there's gonna be a little more abuse added to it, choking and whatever else. So I thought, well, my daughter right now, she's talking to a friend online, and it is a quarter to noon. So I'm just going to relax, calm myself, possibly read some more, possibly listen to some music, and then maybe I will like start with one chore at a time and see what I can do. Besides that, I'm gonna try and stay in a positive head zone today, so that I can be here for Anthony when he comes home after the long, rough day that he's gonna have to deal with. And there might have to be some things that I teach Eva how to do, you know, like tying, for instance. And I do have to get her ready for school on Tuesday. So, and then, guys, I know I thought I was done with this video. We have to go out to St. Paul on Tuesday to do a DNA testing to check to see where the extra chromosomes fit with her ADHD and her autism. So I'm wondering if they're also going to DNA test us too. Like if we get to have our cheeks swabbed. I'm not sure how any of this works. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this before. That's kind of why I was like, oh, this pediatrician likes to do tests. I like this pediatrician because Eva's first pediatrician did a lot of testings on her and stuff like that. So I was like, perfect. Don't want to be in St. Paul. But welcome to the real life. So, So yeah, she gets to basically have a half day on the first day of school, and yeah, not looking forward to that. So, um, but I think we'll get through it just fine. Hang on a sec. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. It's bugging me. You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I'm sitting up like this. I know that you want to play too. Sorry guys, I thought I was gonna make it till after the video, but that did not work. Anyways, other upside, due to the fact that Anthony got into this accident at the start of the summer, um, we got out of a summer barbecue, a summer potluck. Don't have to be around drunks, thank God. And Anthony's creepy aunt doesn't have to hit on him like she does from time to time. Anyways, so kind of happy about that. Managed to send a good text message to his grandmother with Anthony, obviously, saying like, sorry, we can't make it. We both work. Schedule's out 3 weeks ahead of time now, and our car's still broken. We can't drive it at night. So, and she was very understanding with that. So, I have no idea what the holidays are gonna bring. I'm hoping that we are closed on the holidays, so that we can have somebody come pick us up and drop us off. I know, like, we're completely out of the way. There's not anybody that's close to us, minus his grandparents, you know. So there might be like holidays where we end up spending the night there, but I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. And if we have to spend the night there, it's not that big of a deal, you know. And if they can bring us back the next day, no big deal, you know. If we have to like switch the schedules around to somebody else opening that day so that we can make it back, then so be it, you know. But I don't know. We'll see when the time comes. We'll plan that as the time comes, because I can tell you right now, by the time Thanksgiving and Christmas come around, our car's not going to be fixed. We do not have the funds at the moment to even fix that front end of that car. And we don't have the funds at the moment to even get a car, because Anthony's credit's horrible. My credit's good, but I don't make enough money. So, yeah. I had to do some research into like car loans and how I could just get like a car loan with like 0% down to it, and make a certain amount of monthly payments, you know. But I can tell you right now, Jesus, no. With our house payment and all the other things that we have to do as adults, it's not a thing, you know. So I have some stuff that I want to either start selling on Facebook Marketplace, or I want to figure out a time where I can do on a Saturday or something, and like on a Friday night we get everything all set up and ready, and Saturday from like 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. I just sat out in front of my driveway with my friends and just be like, please buy my shit, you know, because I have so much stuff that I can either donate or, yeah, so it's frustrating. And the fact that the economy is like basically just turning into like money signs everywhere is ridiculous. So yeah, I think that's really all I have to say. I'm gonna try and take it easy today. I'm gonna do my best to try and take it easy tomorrow, and I'm just gonna keep working my way through a calm, relaxing, easy moments to get through what everything needs to get through. I didn't realize that Anthony's closing on Monday night, so that completely sucks. That just means Josiah will have to bring me home, which, it's fine. And then, yeah, so this coming week until Caitlin comes back from vacation, it's gonna be a little bit rough. We're not gonna have the same days off together, and it is the first week of school, so. But I'm gonna do my best to get Eva into all of her appointments with Heather, and I'm gonna do my best to get myself into all of my appointments. And then at some point, we are going to do our best to get Eva back into occupational therapy and speech therapy. At some point. It's looking like it's only gonna manage to be a thing in the summer, spring, and fall. Winter is just not gonna be a thing, because we do not have a reliable car in the winter. So, which I'm 100% okay with. But I have, because of everything that I've been through with her, with OT and speech and everything like that, I know for the most part. For the most part, that, I don't know if that was 3 sneezes or 2 sneezes. Probably in trouble with Anthony, knowing my luck. Anyways, I know how to help her for the most part, and the school does pretty good with it too. So yeah, it's just gonna be a rough year, but we'll get through it. And 2025 better be a better year for me, but we'll see. But it's all about how you perceive it and how you make it. And that's something that I have to tell myself. That these days that I have that are bad, so be it. So, and I just have to stop, take 5 minutes, relax, whatever I need to do, and then get back to it. So. Alright, I think I have vented enough, guys. My coffee's probably cold. It's not too bad, but it's getting there. And I think that's all I really have to say. I hope everybody has a fantastic Sunday. I hope everybody has a good Labor Day weekend. I never do anything for Labor Day. It's not something that we do, but there are definitely some things on our bucket list that we need to start saving up for and doing. But life happens. So, all right, guys, I hope everybody has a good rest of their day and a good day tomorrow and a good week. Hope to talk to you soon.